living for the night, playing for the soul. I'm Stuart Rubin from Daylight Vampires and Daylight Productions, and today I'm here with Rachel Dara, singer, songwriter, amazing human being, as a matter of fact, after seeing you for so many times and meeting you on a few occasions and everything. Really excited to be here today.
Really excited to be here too.
Talk to you a little bit about where you're going and, of course, your latest song release coming up in a couple of days, which to me is going to be really exciting. We're really excited to hear it. I know that it's going to start off, there's going to have an event first in Montreal and,
Yes, indeed.
and then to Toronto.
Yes.
I think before we actually start, I'd like to say I've seen you many times play. The first time was at Mariposa Cafe, and I was there with my daughter, and we just fell in love with your musical style. We fell in love with your voice, your playing. You have, I mentioned the whole point about playing with soul, and you have that soul. And you know, you feel that old soul that where you have a maturity above a lot of people, really, of what you're singing about and what you're doing. And we'll discuss this a little bit later on about the song that you wrote when you were stuck in the stairs and everything.
Staircase, yeah.
So we're going to discuss a little bit like that. As I mentioned, as a musician myself, I really love when people pour their soul into their music, that they live and they really feel what they're doing. And to me, I say hats off to you, because you know what, I've been listening to music my whole life. We're talking 63 years already, and so we're talking at least 50 years of listening to music, and what you put out there into the market and what you sing and how you sing it, to me, once again, supersedes what a lot of people do who have been doing this for many years.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, enough about me, enough about talking about that. Tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Rachel Dara. I'm an alternative folk artist, and I've been making music pretty much my whole life. I put out my first album, The Next Big Invention, last year. It'll actually be a year ago from this Saturday that I put that album out. And I've been writing for the past 10 years. I've been performing for the past 7. And I've never looked back from doing it. It feels like a calling to be doing this. It's not something that it just happened. It's something that I always knew that I wanted to do. And now I'm doing it, and it's super fun.
Well, it's what, 6 years old that you wrote your first song?
I was 6 years old when I wrote my first draft of a song. I was 9 years old when I wrote my first official song, and I haven't looked back since.
That's incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you.
How long have you been playing guitar?
10 years. Also,
Since you were 9 years
Yeah.
old, you're playing guitar?
Exactly.
Are you a person that's self-taught? Did you go through lessons? Did you go through that whole rigmarole? or-
Interesting story. So I took 5 lessons with a professional guitarist named Josh Goldman. Josh went on tour, and then I ended up teaching myself. And a few years later, came back to him, and he taught me a few lessons online. And now he just produced my EP. He produced the song that's coming out in a few days, In
Wow.
the Darkness. So things really circle back. It's funny that you asked that question.
It's incredible because, once again, I've met you on many occasions. I met your father a couple of years ago as well.
have.
And he was telling me this whole story just a little while back about you were playing somewhere and someone brought you a guitar. They took this guitar out.
Yeah, exactly. That's happened a few times, actually. I think one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me is someone actually locally in Montreal West gifted me a Martin D28 guitar
Oh, wow.
after knowing me for no more than 10 minutes. Sometimes I think as a young musician, I think one of the coolest things about doing what I do is people believe in me. People want to see me succeed. I was born at a time where I have many people before me who have experienced things that I'm lucky that I probably will never have to. And because of that, they want my success. And I could tell you the whole story if you'd like. But just to summarize, I was playing guitar on the front porch of a local who was living in Montreal West. And he is in his 80s, and he gifted me a Martin D28 guitar because it hurt his fingers and he wanted to give it another chance at life. And it was one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me.
It's funny you said lucky. I don't think it's luck. I think that you're born with talent. I think you were born with a gift
Thank
to
you.
share music with everybody out there, to really to let everyone experience what you have in your heart.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. I appreciate it. It definitely did take a lot of work, though. When I first started making music, it definitely did not sound like how it is when I'm on stage today. And you can hear it if you listen to my album. I was 14 years old when it was recorded. There is a change in my voice. There is a change in my ability to make music and my sound and how much I know myself as an artist. And I'm still improving and still getting to know that. But it definitely, it took a lot of hard work to progress and to evolve as an artist, as a musician, and know what I'm doing.
Like I say, it's quite incredible. Now, you were mentioning about the producing of your first album or your first songs. Who was involved in that production?
So that was Mark Howard. He's a Grammy Award-winning producer. He won a Grammy for an album he did with Bob Dylan in the 90s. And he's a pretty cool guy. He's done a lot of things with a lot of different people. Joni Mitchell, U2, Bob Dylan, like all the big folk alternative rock names. However, when I went into studio with him, I didn't know this. I was just really happy to be making an album with a producer, finally getting my music recorded. And the crazy thing is, I was playing him my music and he stopped me and said, "You remind me of somebody who I once worked with. Her name's Joni Mitchell." I said, "Oh, that's so sweet. I've never heard of her. That's such a sweet thing to say. I'll check out her music when I get home." And you know what? I'm glad that I never heard of her until that point. I think she's amazing, but I think that's the best way to be introduced to iconic artists. To be introduced to them by the people who were involved in their process itself is like, wow. It was cool. It was great.
It's funny because it's the first time I'm hearing this story. And one of the things I put down originally for this was exactly that, is that you sound like Joni Mitchell.
Did you really?
It's incredible because that's exactly the feeling that I get.
That's actually crazy.
So it really runs upon those lines. Like I said, it's that folk, but you put your own little twist to it. And it gives that extra, it's yourself. You see, she had her own way of writing, because you're looking at the Bob Dylan and everything and all of that era. You're taking it to another level. You're putting your own type of feel to it, but more of a modern type of folk, which I find is quite impressive because folk music has been around for so many years. And when you look at it, I don't know if you've seen, you probably saw the Bob Dylan movie.
Exactly.
And that whole thing ended up starting off where they had the folk festival, and then folk started falling apart after that when Dylan ended up going electric. But yet, I noticed that more and more now we're seeing it coming back, and it's coming back even stronger than before. And I think it's an excellent time right now for you, right with this resurgence again of this, to be really doing what you're doing.
I think it's an excellent time as well. We're living in a new world, and what good is it to keep making music that's been heard before? But then again, I love all different genres of music. For those who are listening, I'm going to be putting out 2 pop singles in about a year from now. It's all planned out. But I still will forever consider myself to be an alternative folk artist, because I think that's what defines me the most. Because I don't fit into a box. But my music, whether it's pop or rock or anything, it's storytelling, and that's what makes it folk. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. It is pure folk. That's how it is. But I think as a folk artist, it's my job to tell stories and to be an entertainer. And what better time to do it than now?
I find, like I said, it's extremely impressive. And one thing for everyone who's saying this, as well, is that we didn't even mention all the awards and accolades that you've won. Every single time I go onto Facebook or I go onto the internet, all I see is, oh, Rachel won another thing, and there's another thing. It's impressive. Songwriter, it was just, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, thank you, first of all. I think the biggest award that I've ever received was in 2023 at the International Singer-Songwriters Association Awards Gala in Atlanta, Georgia. I won 2 awards, and I was not expecting it. It was completely unexpected. I was just there to meet other artists and to network and family vacation. And I ended up winning International Female Music Video of the Year for my first single for 18. And that was just me walking behind my house in Côte Saint-Luc. So it was extremely close to home. That won silver. And then I won gold for International Female Rising Star, which was like, wow, me? Of all people? There's so many people here. Like, me? And it was a really cool feeling to be in a room with, yes, most of them are independent artists, but to be in a room with people from all across the world who are twice your age and to be standing on a stage and giving a speech, I still think about it. I can't believe that happened. Wow. Sometimes I'm feeling all down about myself, and then I remembered, hey, you did this happen. It's okay. Yeah. Just keep doing it, and more of this will happen, and it'll get bigger. You just got to keep working at it. And that's my mindset also, to just apply to everything. If you don't apply, you can't win. If you don't apply...
100%. You know what? As they say, if you don't buy the lottery ticket,
you're not going to win the lottery.
That's
exactly.
Don't expect it to happen without anything like that. Did you have any extra musicians playing with you?
On the new song, yes, I did, actually. Funny that you say that. We were just talking about Josh Goldman, my childhood guitar teacher. He's playing the bass on that song. And then you have Daniel McLean on the drums, and he is absolutely wicked on the drums. Picked things up instantly, added his own flair to it, And I think having them both on the record gave the record its own flair, its own taste from many different genres. And I'm very glad that I wanted to make this a band thing. Because I made it a band thing, it's now genre-less, but so many genres in a sense. Well, alternative folk, that's kind of how it is. It's a bunch of genres in one. But it opens up doors for when I'm trying to get my music heard. And I'm really happy with the sound. I listen to my own music and I don't feel embarrassed anymore. I never did. I never felt embarrassed, but I can listen to my own music and be like, wow, it's not just my guitar and a voice. It's a full band, and it's quite frankly doesn't even sound like me. It does sound like me because I'm singing, but it doesn't sound like me because it's a fully produced record. And I'm not used to hearing my voice with something more than guitar. Up until recently, now I have a band, but up until recently I'd never heard it, and I always felt like there's something missing here, and I always wanted that. I crave that because listening to my own music with just my guitar and my voice, I was very happy with it, but it felt like I want to do more. I want to add more. I want this to be a fully produced sound, and I have that, and now people are going to hear it, and I'm super excited.
I think it's incredible you're mentioning that, because I listen to a lot of your stuff on through Apple and everything. Listen to the Apple Music. But once again, even though you're mentioning with the band, the sound that you have, even when you're doing it on your own, with 18 and everything, just listening to the songs itself, I just found there's just layers and layers, sound and tone that come out when you put this out there. It's very pleasant. Sometimes you listen to music and it does nothing for you. You just hear the song. Here I'm transported. I feel like I'm on another plane completely, listening to it, and I'm being elevated, which to me is what you want to have from music. It's to forget about all your troubles, to forget about what bothers you, and to literally sit there and say, this is what changed my mood today. This is what made me feel better. When I go in the car, when I'm feeling down, I'm going to listen to this because that's what it does. And I find by listening to your music, that's exactly what I get. I've been listening to it more and more because of that reason.
Wow. No, I'm honored that you feel that, because that's exactly why I make music, because that's what it does to me. I listen to music and I make music because it takes me out of my own little world, puts me into this realm. It's like a medication where you're just transported. You see the world in a better place. You see the world in a way, in a feeling that you want to see it in. And that's what music does for me. And I think because it does that for me, when I'm listening to it, it just comes out when I'm writing it. And the fact that you told me that, you've read my mind about how I feel when I listen to just music in general. And I'm honored that you feel that way. That's awesome.
Music's a wonderful thing, and like yourself, being a musician myself, which for myself is mostly covers and things like that, but I just find when you're on the stage and when you're singing, you look to the crowd, and I've seen you do this as well, you look out to the people and you just take in the enjoyment you get from other people enjoying what you're doing. It's almost like I feel like, I can't believe that I'm here doing this, and people are actually enjoying it.
I feel that way literally when I'm on stage. It's like you're reading my mind. I never even told you this, and that's exactly what I do. Every time I'm playing a show, I'm looking and I'm seeing a crowd and I'm on a stage, and it's like, it does not feel real. It feels like a dream. How am I doing this? It can't be me. I didn't grow up in an environment where I was always on the stage, seeing everybody on the stage. How am I here? And it's just a bunch of questions in my head, and I just realized I'm here because I made it happen. I made it happen just by doing things and playing open mics, and I just ended up playing stages, and it just makes me really happy that I get to do this now.
Well, talking about stages, let's talk about the new song.
Oh yes. Wow, there's a lot to talk about In the Darkness, but that's coming out this Friday, March 6th. And it's the first release of my upcoming EP called Old at Soul and Young at Heart. I wrote In the Darkness, actually I'll tell you the full story. I wrote this song when I was 13 years old, and wrote it specifically actually after an incident that had happened to me specifically. Was at a party, and I was trying to leave the party. I wasn't really enjoying myself, right? I didn't know that many people. I was having an okay time, but it was time to go. And I was trying to leave, and I decided to take a staircase instead of the elevator that I came up. And I went down 10 floors on the staircase, right? And this was to this day, one of the sketchiest staircases I've ever been in. There was crazy things written on the walls. Like it wasn't just like, it was just like scary things written on the walls, especially for a kid to see.
Yeah.
Kept walking down, right? And I'm seeing like our windows, and inside the windows there are stores, like selling things in the stores, but they were weird things too. Like I realized I'm in a bad place just by looking through those windows and seeing what was around me. I was like, I need to run upstairs. I am not safe here. I ran upstairs. I went down 10 floors, or at least that's what I counted, 10 floors, and I was about to open the door, and it's locked. Oh no,
Oh my
I'm locked in
God.
a staircase. What do? I'm alone. I'm wearing a party dress. I'm 13 years old, and it's 10:30 at night. I see through the window there's some kids who are in my class who I recognize, and they're on their phones and they're talking. So I bang on the door, trying to get them to see me, to let me in. They look up, they see me through the window, they look back on their phones.
Oh,
And then, still banging on the door, and a security guard came running, opens the door and tells me, "You put yourself at risk of getting hurt." And that's where I got the line for the chorus.
wow. That's impressive. That really is. Crazy where we get these lines from. Life experience, I find, is really. That's when someone writes a song based on life experience. You feel it more than when someone sits there and just out of nowhere puts something down. But then there's times where songs have been written in 5 minutes and it's like the biggest hit of all time.
Yeah.
No, that's extremely impressed with that. Now, as you mentioned, the 6th is the release date. Now, there are going to be some dates where you're going to be playing this at, correct?
Yes, indeed. I'm actually playing on the 6th as well. In 2 days from now, I'm playing at M Montreal Bar, and I'm very excited. It's my first time there.
What is that?
It is Saint Andre downtown, and it's ironic that I'm doing it downtown because I wrote the song about
Yeah,
downtown
yeah.
Montreal. So that was the point. That's why I booked it at a venue downtown. Like I felt like that would close it all. That's like it's connected. I need to make it connected. So that's Friday, March 6th. The doors open at 7. Tickets are $15 at the door. Show starts at 8. So we have pretty good show. I'm with my band, and the next day I'm playing a show in Toronto. At the Burna, and it'll be my first ever solo show in Toronto, so I'm super excited. That's 6 to 8 p.m. and yeah, no, it's gonna be sick. And Sunday I'm playing in London, Ontario. It's a showcase run by Laura Gagnon, who's based in the London area, and it's in honor of International Women's Day. We have like a female lineup.
Wow.
And it's a showcase, and yeah.
What's
so
the thing I saw
weekend.
with Ottawa?
Ottawa?
Something about Ottawa. There was.
Oh yeah, the festival in Ottawa.
Yeah, I said it just came up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
There's like, and then the bottom there, I see your
That's
name.
me. I'm playing
Yeah.
the Rise Up Music Festival in Ottawa, and that was pretty cool. I think that's me something that I'm like extremely excited about, and I'll tell you, I up to that myself, just sitting there like on computer, and I up so far to 43 festivals. I know I'm gonna get a lot of no's. I already know the lineups are being announced for other festivals, and my name isn't on there that I've applied to, and that's okay. That is absolutely totally okay. But it was the first time I ever got a "you're accepted" and "congratulations, you made it into the festival" from something that I applied to, and that was the Rise Up Music Festival in Ottawa, and that's April 30th in the evening at Live on Elgin. And no, I'm very, very excited about it.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
One thing, and for those who don't know, Rachel's always involved with these fundraiser events. She does a lot of things that really help. It could be any of these things, and you know what? I think it's incredible someone does that because you're giving back to the community.
Well, that's what makes me happy. Hey,
Yeah.
all I want to do is give back because I know it's like to need something, and for my community to be back to me. And just love helping people out. I love being there for everyone who's there for me and everyone who doesn't even know me. It's who I am as a person. I things, and if I give my time, then that's the best thing I can give as an artist, as a musician. Like, it's my to do so.
One thing I did notice is I would have to look at your biggest supporter, and to me, your biggest supporter is your father.
Yeah.
He has like instrumental and going there and working you, him and all of that. Who else has been there for you?
Well, there's a few people. For my mom and my sister. I who are extremely supportive, who have showed up to my shows. There's also Errol Johnson, council, the West DDO. He is extremely instrumental in what I've been doing here in Montreal. Basically, how we're introduced is he found my email, sent me an email, and asked me to call him. And I did not know who he was. And then I was like, I Googled it. I was like, Errol's in DDO. Like, I do know who he is. I gave him a call. I said, "Hi, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you." He said, I need you to play in between acts at the West Island Blues Festival this summer. It was the summer of 2024. And he had found me from an article that was in the Suburban newspaper, which is what we're here for right now. So what are the chances? Like, the Suburban has been helpful for me. Mike Cohen has been writing articles about me since I was like 12. Just so many members of the community have been there I have people who come to my shows consistently, like every single show, they're there. They are very consistent to them. I never expected that, and these are not people who I knew previously. These are people who met me because of my music, who met me or found out who I was through social media, through other shows, and they come. And they keep coming, and it's like, I just, even though I'm an artist and it's a small community of people, just seeing consistent people being at every show, that's huge for me. And it's really
It's funny because we started off talking about Joni Mitchell.
yeah.
And when you think about it, Joni Mitchell started off in the Village, Greenwich, and she was out there, you know, and busy playing in all these little clubs and all these little places, and then all of a sudden it exploded. Well, you know, I just what happens is that you start and people get a following, and then people get an interest, and now with all of it, this is going. It's really moved forward at a good pace, which is wonderful, you know. So, okay, so where do you see yourself in the music industry in the next couple of years?
See, I've been asked that question, and to be quite honest, I don't know how to give you a specific answer, but here's what I will tell you. I'm just gonna go wherever the wind takes me, and I'm gonna apply to every single thing I can. I'm gonna take every single opportunity, and as long as I'm putting myself out there, things will happen. It might be good, it might be bad, but there will be things, and it will build up my career as an artist. And where I want to see myself, though, is on every single stage in North America. That's where I want to see myself. Specifically, I want to play a headliner show at MTELUS. I've always wanted to do that as a huge concert person, concertaholic. I want to play a headliner show at MTELUS in the next 5 years, and my dream, sell it out, but that's a dream, and I gotta be realistic. So all I gotta say is I'm just gonna keep taking every single opportunity I can.
You know, it's funny, you talk about MTELUS and places like that. It's funny because I've always had a little bit of a dream of where I'd want to play and do things like that. And I think as a dream, I think as something for yourself, a real reach to the future is Wembley.
Really?
To be on that stage of Wembley, to be out there in front of 80 or 90,000 people.
See, that would be epic.
Something like that, where I could see you eventually being out there at Wembley, giving that big hello, the same way Freddie Mercury came out there on the stage and everything, to go out there, power it out, and then all of a sudden you just feel the rush of the crowd hitting you in the chest.
I've never even been to a venue with 80, 90,000 people in it. I can't imagine playing on that stage. But you know what? If I ever get a chance to, I'm gonna take that chance. I'm gonna weigh up to that chance and see wherever life will lead me. I'm happy with it.
Well, I see it in the way you sing. I see a comfort the way you play. Once again, I said is that I see somebody with an old soul, somebody that really has going on in the world, understands what's going on with different generations of people. And I wish you all the best in the future, all the best with everything, and look forward to actually seeing you on stage very soon.
I wish you exactly the same, and I look forward to seeing you on stage very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thanks. Bye.